Welcome back to the Horse Racing Show, episode 36. We hope that you are following and liking us and subscribing to us on YouTube, like I know our next two guests are. It's very important to get that YouTube subscription rate up and listening to us on Google Play and on iTunes and on 93.9 in Louisville. She is back. Always enjoy talking with Hall of Famer Julie Krone, who has written a terrific book along with her husband, Jay Hovde, called One Sweet Ride. It is about Candy Ride winning the 2003 Pacific Classic. And like it says in here, it celebrates the magical collaboration of a Hall of Fame jockey, a Hall of Fame trainer, a celebrity couple, that would be Sid and Jenny Craig, and a fabulous thoroughbred. And I recommend this book, One Sweet Ride. And joining us also with Julie is Frankie Lovato Jr., who had a really solid career in his own right, over 1,600 wins, and he's the guy that came up with the Equicizer. You've seen jockeys work out with them. That's because of Frankie. And they have something in common, too. We're going to talk about their involvement with junior jockeys. I'll get the official title from them. That's why they're on the show. So, Julie, Frankie, welcome in.
Well, thank you very much. Quite an introduction. I'm glad to be here.
And you guys now, you have in common your association of working with young jockeys. And Julie, I know you just had your first junior jockey camp up in Saratoga, I believe, this summer.
Yes, we did. We had it at the Long Shadows Farm, and it is directly a result of Frankie Lovato Jr.'s work that he's done, and it's his whole plan. I just copied it all with his blessings, obviously, and then it just was really fun. It was really fun to take his program and add the horses to it, and I couldn't have done it without him.
Well, Frankie, congratulations on this. You came up, I believe, with the concept to introduce young people to basically what it's like to be, if you want to be a jockey or an exercise rider, some of the basic things you need to know. Is that kind of the premise of the junior jockey camp?
Yes, basically, it's an avenue for mostly kids that want to get into horse racing and just don't know where to start, how to start, and because of the Equicizer, I just seem to run into a lot of these kids over so many years. And so basically what I decided to do is start an organization and build a platform where it's accessible online. They can go online. We have basically groups of accessible where they can join, be members, talk amongst each other, and I just created all these learning tools where they can learn about horse racing the proper way. And
the camp, is there an age limit? Is there a cutoff for either too young or too old to be in this?
Well, this year it was kind of interesting, and Frankie, I didn't do hardly any of the planning without Frankie guiding me a little bit in some way, except for once in a while I had to make an executive decision and go off of Frankie's plan a little bit because we had two younger kids come. We had one was really young. She was 9, and their oldest was 18. And we just, because of the 9-year-old's experience and dedication, and her parents, they ended up sponsoring one of the other kids and stuff like that. So, the rules are for us to make, and the whole thing was to get a nice group of kids together. And she fit all the criteria. So 9 years old is the youngest so far that I've taken, and she did a wonderful job. And then the oldest for us, I think, was 18 this summer. But it was really fun too because I think she went to see about getting a job on the backside already. Because when they left us, the last day they could pony. They could pony a racehorse. They could tack up. They knew where the poles were on the racetrack. They could pretty much, I'm pretty sure, trot almost, not everything but the toughest racehorse, maybe backwards. Mm-hmm. Trot them backwards once. And they knew a lot of lingo and a lot of the way you talk, like, hey, back them up to the half-mile pole. Like, just like fun stuff when because Frankie made this design for this little racetrack. Uh-huh. And the first time I ever went to the racetrack, I broke off at the wrong pole and breezed the horse the wrong distance. So I would have loved it if somebody would have taken my hand and taught me the poles and stuff like that, because there was so much other stuff that I was learning at the time. But it's just really fun to know that if there was like 12 of them, like half of them could have probably gone to the racetrack and got a hot walking job or a job ponying horses. You know?
Wow, that's incredible. Now, Frankie, I know how you got involved. Your dad is a successful jockey. I mean, I guess it was natural you would be, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm the youngest of four kids that my parents had, and I was the only one that took an interest in horse racing, and I was obsessed with it since the age of since I was 4 years old. I remember people telling stories about me that I don't even remember. But my pack bag was packed when I was 4. So I was ready.
Do you remember the first time it was for real out there on the track? I guess you were an exercise rider. I don't know. I guess that came before your first race, or when you were out there, exercising a horse. Do you still remember that moment when you were at the right pole to take off?
Oh, I mean, there's several levels to that. There was a time when I wasn't supposed to be on the racetrack yet.
I had one of those too, Frankie. My mom forged my birth certificate. First time I galloped at Churchill Downs, I was only 15. So yeah,
and you had to be 16.
Not surprised.
You had to be 16.
Finish your story.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your rest of your story, Frankie?
Oh well, no. When I was a kid, they used to let me get on the stable pony, and one time they snuck me onto the track with a set of horses. And the pony somehow must have known that I wanted to go fast, and he ran off with me. And the outrider caught me, and nobody said a thing, and they just kind of snuck me off the track. But I was like, man, that was fun.
That's awesome.
So, we're talking with Julie Krone and Frankie Lovato Jr. They're doing great work with these junior jockey camps, and a new book out by Julie, One Sweet Ride, that she wrote with her husband, the very talented Eclipse Award winner himself, Jay Hovde. Did you write most of the book, or did Jay write most of the book, Julie? And I hope he's listening. I know he'll be listening to the interview.
I mean, he is the writer.
Oh, I know that. I'm kidding.
But I was ever present. Like, I helped interview Jenny, which I'm really happy I did, because I learned so many things about her, and what an amazing woman. Oh my gosh, the way that she worked and put her company together, and it literally took hours and hard work of her being present, and like keeping it going, and sometimes it seemed like her world that she was in was a little bit parallel to mine sometimes, because sometimes the guys could give her a tough time,
Yeah.
And she was kind of the only woman in a room a lot of times, and it was kind of cool to hear her stories about how she faced her fears and did publicity stuff, and worked her butt off and did TV spots and promoted and used her ideas to make her business a really successful business. And so it was like really cool to hear the stories. And the book has photos that have never been seen, a couple of them. And the stories are just so unique, because Jay Hovde, when he puts a story together, it's just beautiful.
Oh, he's a terrific writer. You know that. I've known Jay forever.
The way he captures Candy Red's, the way he is personality-wise, and then just there's so many photos in the book too that are really fun, and I think anybody who likes racing will definitely enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the money, Jenny was so nice to donate the books and to jockeyworld.org, and the money goes to our jockey campers coming up this summer.
So if you want to buy the book right now, the best way for our listeners around the globe listening in, by the way.
The only way.
The only way.
The only way.
and that is to go to the website?
jockeyworld.org. Yes, sir. You go on there, and One Sweet Ride will be there. Frankie's linked it on here, and one of the other great talents he has, not only being a junior jockey camp teacher and maker of ideas, but also he's really good at the computer stuff.
I bet he is. I mean, first off, when I first saw the Equicizer, geez, I don't know, maybe a year or two after he's out. 82, I think, Frankie's when you invented it. Is that right?
My first one was way back when I was recovering from a racing accident, and at that point, I had no intention of starting a business with this, but the publicity that it had gotten and other riders just were. Like,
I wanted one right away.
Yes, Julie was actually one of my very first of 5 exercises I ever built.
And at junior jockey camp, Frankie got to see the horse again, because the horse is at Long Shadows Farm.
Yeah.
And by Saratoga, and it was funny because Frankie had his brand new, beautiful Equicizer, the Supreme model. It's on wheels. It's like 16 hands tall, so you can practice your leg up.
Wow.
It's like it's so beautiful. It's like top of the line, and then way down on the ground is the little tiny, like 10th exercise we made or whatever in like 1983. I don't even remember. It was like, but it was so cute because the difference. It looked like, it had like a funny head, and the cable was inside all broken, and you could hardly get it to pick its head up. But those junior jockey campers, they rode that. They loved it because every equicizer kind of served its purpose. Like, the big one was perfect and you could look really good, and then the little older one, the real old one, the one on the first, it was kind of like hard. You had to pick its head up and down, so it really helped to develop that other set of muscles. So, but it was just fun to see the difference, right, Frankie, of how the first one looked compared to the newest one.
Yeah. And I think people know what the equicizer is. I know race fans. I guess some race fans do. It's a non-motorized mechanical horse that jockeys use for exercise, and you have to use the same motion, and you're pulling at the reins, the head's going back. You've probably seen it on one of the shows. I mean, I don't know if there's too many jocks rooms around the country that don't have one in there for a lot of the jockeys to stay loose. Kind of like a guy swinging a bat in the batting cage underneath the stadium before he goes out onto the field.
Yeah, I haven't been to a racetrack in almost anywhere. And then it was really fun. I found this little cute Irish show. This little boy, oh my gosh, Frankie couldn't be any more than 14 years old in the video, right? The horse, racing the horse in Ireland. And there's an equicizer. It shows a shot. There's a shot at night. It's shot real artistically. It's out in the dark and looking through the lit window. And here's the little boy jamming away on one of Frankie's equicizers. And I was like, I got to show Frankie. And it's on the edge of it's on some seaside village in Ireland where they race the horses on the beach, It was really beautiful.
You have these all over the world, don't you, Frankie?
All over the world.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Julie mentioned, I mean, like horse racing is the foundation of how this business started. But I make horses for all riders now, including those with disabilities. It's very popular in the therapeutic riding community, so I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I could see that. I imagine, I don't know, some people might get it just for exercise. That you're not even a jockey. You're a 185-pound guy that wants to jump on it and, work your arms because it works your arms.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't have to ride it like it.
Wait,
go ahead, Joey.
No,
I was just going to say you don't have to ride it like a jockey. That's it's basically it's an exercise that you can ride it from the seat or you can ride it out of the saddle like a jockey would. Either way, it's a great fun exercise.
How did you come up with this? I know you had a broken leg, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you were sidelined with a broken leg, and you're working this is basically, you needed something to rehab yourself and get all the muscles working again to get back into shape to ride again. And that's how you came up with this, I believe?
Well, basically, so just a little step before then, I always mess with wood, working with wood and making things. And so we're because you mentioned my dad being a jockey, I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up in the suburbs. Mm-hmm. And, there I used to pretend my bicycle was my horse, basically. But the frustration of not being able to ride and just really aching to get to spend time in the saddle, I would make things out of wood. Nothing like this, but the equicizer now, but contraptions. So in 81, when I fractured my leg, I lost the mobility in my left leg, and the doctor was even concerned I may not race again because it wasn't sure I was going to get that movement back. And so going through rehab and state-of-the-art facilities that had nothing that would simulate what I needed. And I just basically, I had a friend of mine, I was still on crutches. I had a friend of mine that was also handy. And I drew him a picture. I said, could you help me make this? And that's how I made my first horse. So with just a bunch of scrap wood and carpet and a spring from a junkyard, I put this thing together, and it worked. And when my doctor finally was able to give me the okay to ride a real horse, he said that he was very impressed with my condition and my movement and strength I had. And he says, well, you can start riding again. And I chuckled, and I said, I've been riding for 3 months already in my wooden horse. And that was, that's a huge thing. If you could actually work on your the muscles you need, the flexibility, the fitness that you need before you have to get on a horse.
Yeah.
It was an amazing, simple concept. I was able to do it before I put myself in any sort of real danger on a real horse.
Talking with Julie Krone and Frankie Lovato Jr., they have done a great job with Junior Jockey Camp. It's introducing people, introducing kids to the world of horse racing, be it they want to learn to be a hot walker, they want to learn to eventually be an exercise rider or a jockey, whatever the situation, they're introduced to it. And there's a book out called One Sweet Ride. Julie Krone won thousands of races, but her Del Mar victory was a classic, and it's written by her very talented husband, Jay Hubdy, along with Julie. Huh?
Very talented.
Very talented. Is he standing close by? Hello, hello, Jay. No, he is very talented. And Jenny Craig, you mentioned Jenny Craig. I think people know she was kind of like the original weight loss queen, wasn't she? She's the one I remember most that would say, come to Jenny Craig, you want to lose weight. This was kind of before Weight Watchers and Nutrisystem and everything.
Exactly. It was the very first one. It was before it even became like, a thing, and people needed help too. Like, it was genuinely, it gave her a lot of satisfaction. There was a lot of people who wanted to lose weight and felt like it would have helped them in their lives and were discouraged by it. And then she gave them a lot of hope and a lot of success stories about people who lost weight in a healthy way and learned new habits and just felt better about themselves. So it was kind of a nice thing to share with people.
And they had a wonderful relationship, Sid and Jenny, with Ron McAnally and the Hall of Fame trainer. And I mean, there's so many great.
And then Ron's story about being an orphan.
Oh,
mean, you know what I mean? Oh, it's just the whole book. It's just really. I love Frankie's quote when he was talking about how he loves the book because it reminds him of what he loves about horse racing. This is the true story of all the things coming together and being like, oh, whoa, what a great story. Oh, and that candy ride, he is so fun to ride.
Yeah.
Cute little cheeks and his little pointy ears, and he had such a personality. And, you could ride him with shoestrings. He was so smart and light, and he hardly even pulled on the bridle. He was just beautiful.
That's one of the things I've always liked about horse racing is just what you mentioned there, Julie, the layers to this story, the owner, the trainer, the jockey, the horse himself, everything that goes into getting a horse ready. And I think that's a big appeal, and that's one thing that we always try to emphasize on this show is personalities like you and like Frankie. Your husband Jay's been on the show before. The people that are involved with it that you may know or may not know a whole lot about, and get that out there, because I still think, to me, that's what is going to keep people coming back, is when they learn the many layers that can go around with any story about a horse.
Yes, exactly. And it does have many layers often.
And you can buy this book again right now, and the proceeds will help junior jockey camps.
Correct. Jenny donated all the books. And you go to jockeyworld.org, and you click on One Sweet Ride. And that's the only place you can purchase the books. And if anybody's in a position, obviously, that they would like it autographed, that's absolutely possible to have that done.
Thank you, by the way. I have my autograph copy. I'm holding up now. If you're on YouTube, you're seeing it. Trust me, if you're just listening, it is very nice.
Well, we should have Frankie, we should have a giveaway on Jockey World, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could give away let's give away 5 books or something.
Okay.
JockeyWorld.org, right? It would be on the front. Are you going to do your computer thing, how you put it up on the website?
Yeah, we can discuss how we can do that.
Okay, perfect. Certainly. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a giveaway, because that always draws people and it's fun to share and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at Frankie's. Frank. Oh, go ahead, Frankie.
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention, as far as, one of the big parts of Jockey World is educating our youth and helping create for kids that want to get into horse racing, a path. But also, it's also about fan education, and because I believe, just like your show here, the more people understand horse racing, the more they will enjoy it, and that's a big part of what Jockey World is about as well.
No, I totally agree. That's why, we always pump up. Some of my friends say, hey, I subscribe to the show, okay? I've already liked it on YouTube. I said, I know. Tell more of your friends to like it on YouTube, because as you know, you all know this world. I mean, I'm still getting used to all this social media, but it's so important these days. And not a lot of horse people are into social media. We've had Baffert and Pletcher and Lucas and pretty much everybody. Now there's a few like Julie and a few others that have Gary Stevens and John Velasquez that have significant followers. Brittany Earton, I think, has the most of anybody I know in horse racing. But
Donna Brothers.
Donna been on her show. I'm actually going to a thing, and they're honoring her at Keeneland on Friday night, Julie. I'll be there for that.
What are they giving her? What award?
I don't know. I think just for being Donna Brothers, which is well deserved.
I don't blame them. I think that's exactly
totally I know.
deserving.
I think we're going to talk to her about it next week. But yeah,
she's a rock star.
Yeah.
She makes being like a girl jockey, the girl in racing, cool again.
Yeah.
They all do. Earton and all those girls. There's something else.
Yeah, but again, that's the whole point. We're just keep trying to get the point across, like you guys are doing right now, and try to get people to like and subscribe and follow and all the things that are important in the social media world to help continue to move forward with all the endeavors.
As far as social media goes too, the TDN is really good for news and they did a really good story on Junior Jockey Camp.
Yeah, I read that.
If you go to juniorjockeycamp.com or jockeyworld.org or to the TDN, and if you want to keep updated in racing, you should definitely be, on the TDN and get that every day.
And feel free to go crazy and tweet the living out of this show, by the way, both of y'all. That'd be good.
Yes, definitely.
At Horse Racing Show. Hey, listen, I can't thank you all enough. Julie, always good to have you with us. Frankie, it's been a long time, and it's great to catch up. And
it is great to have him back.
Yes.
I'm so happy that he came to camp and showed his beautiful face, and I'd be up there all stumbly, blah, blah, blah with my words, and Frankie'd be talking like a professor, and I was just like, oh my God, his teaching is so beautiful. So I have a lot to learn from him. So,
well, thank you.
I appreciate him sharing his jockey camp.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Best wishes with the future success of Junior Jockey Camps, Julie Krone and Frankie Lovato. Again, One Sweet Ride is the book. It's a terrific read, naturally. It's written by Jay Hovde with Julie Krone. Thank you all for being with us, and I'm sure we'll catch up again here on the Horse Racing Show, okay?
Happy trails.
Happy trails. Thank you very much, Julie, Frankie. Thank you all. Stay with us. More coming up here on episode 36. Wow, 36 episodes of the Horse Racing Show and more to come.